What's up YouTube, Dale here with wargames, bringing you a test time video for the Dark Magician, Pendulum Magician deck profile update that I did for you guys the other day. Now obviously what we're going to do is we're going to do our standard 3 test stands going first and 3 test stands going second, and I'll show you how the two engines kind of work together and do their due, basically, how they get to where they are. So without further ado, we're going to crack straight on with our starting hand of 5 being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, slightly interesting there. So we'll activate our Dark Magical Circle straight up because then we get to see what we would allure into. So we would allure into a Dark Magician, a Time Pendulum Graph, and then obviously we've got a Star Pendulum Graph. So we'll add our Dark Magician to hand there. We can then obviously activate our Allure of Darkness because we know what we're going to be drawing into, and we're going to draw into those two. Now ideally I would say banish your Dark Magician. We can, if we want, we'll activate our Star Pendulum Graph, we'll set our navigation down here, and then we'll set our Time Pendulum Graph, no, we'll put our navigation there, we'll set our Time Pendulum Graph there, and then we'll put our Harmonizing Magician there. Now the reason we've done that is basically during our opponent's turn, at any point that we feel threatened or we feel that we can deal with this, we would then activate our Magician Navigation. That will then get us a Dark Magician to board. And we have one of two options from here. We can special summon out a Pendulum Magician because we've got Time Pendulum Graph face down ready to go. Or, of course, we could search out an Apprentice Illusion Magician to protect us. It's really entirely up to you on what you would like to search out or put to board from here. Because we've got Harmonizing, we can wait, but if we put Purple Poison down, we can destroy Purple Poison and use its effects later. So basically now what we've done is we have the ability of Dark Magical Circle to banish one. Then during our opponent's end phase or whatever, or when we feel threatened again, we can activate Time Pendulum Graph, and we can destroy Purple Poison and get 2 pops, or we destroy Harmonizing Magician. And obviously if we destroy Harmonizing Magician, we need to have the ability to add it back, so we'll be searching off of Star Pendulum Graph. Otherwise, our best kind of play would be Time Pendulum Graph, destroy Purple Poison. Purple Poison's effect to go off to will destroy, or obviously we resolve Time Pendulum Graph and destroy 1. Purple Poison would then go off and destroy a face-up. Star Pendulum Graph would then go off to search us out whatever we want, and I would say search us out our Wisdom Eye Magician, because then we've got Harmonizing Magician, we have the ability to get Purple Poison back to hand. We've got Navigation Engraved, so now what we can do is we draw 1. We've got Navigation Engraved, so should our opponent activate any quick play spells or traps or anything like that, we can use Navigation to negate that. We can put Wisdom Eye in the scale here, use his effect to destroy that there, to set us another scale. Obviously we're going to set Oath Dragon. Star Pendulum Graph will then go off to search us out another one. And that can search us out our Purple Poison, should we want this. We can then use Oath Dragon's effect to either add back Purple Poison or add back Wisdom Eye, entirely up to you on which one you would like to add back. So let's say we add back the Wisdom Eye, and then we have the ability to Pendulum Summon. Now we can literally go all ham, and we would put Purple Poison up there. We would then put Black Fang there, Purple Poison over at one's edge, and Wisdom Eye another one. And then we've got a link. We have the ability to go through into like a link 4 kind of play. We have the ability to do rank 4 plays as well. So it's really up to us on where we want to go from there on. Of course, we've got Time Pendulum Graph, which can then be used to destroy one of these. So, for example, if we were to overlay these, or to link them, overlay these, detach a material, so let's say it's Tornado Dragon, detach material, make sure the dark goes engraved. We can then use Time Pendulum Graph to destroy Black Fang. Black Fang does his damage, and then Black Fang will revive the material we detached. So we've kind of regained our board presence from there. So even from an okay kind of hand, you know, Navigation Circle is always going to be really nice if you've got a Dark Magician to get to board. And then the Harmonized Magician, even though you didn't want to put it into scale, you kind of, being in scale offered you a lot more. You could have left it in hand if you wanted to, and then obviously you could use your Navigation to Time Pendulum Graph and go that way. Anyway, so our next hand going first, we did play through that one because Dark Magicians do need a turn to set up, and obviously Pendulum Magicians don't. So if we need to play through, we will. Okay, so our next test hand of 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, again, not too bad. Now we could allure if we want, we're doing a blind allure, but that wouldn't really get us too far. If we activate our Pendulum Call, discarding the Dark Magician, now the reason we're discarding our Dark Magician is we have the ability to destroy Black Fang, so we can revive him if we need to. Send him to graveyard, search out our Purple Poison is usually what I go, Harmonizing and Purple Poison, because we've completed the scales. Now, of course, if we activate a lure, we can we have the ability, if we make Omega, to bring that back, but then it means we lose a scale, so it's not really worth the play of losing there. If we go Purple Poison, go into Black Fang, Pendulum Summon Harmonizing. Harmonizing's effect goes off to give us any one of our monsters that we want. Ideally, I would either say go for Purple Poison because you've got more of it in the deck. It means it's more expendable in that sense. Now at this point, Bagooska will do huge amounts of damage or disruption to our opponent, purely because we've got Time Pendulum Graph as well. So obviously it's up to you. You can go into Time Star because we have it normal summoned. Get your Skullcrobat Joker. Skullcrobat Joker can then get you a search as well. And obviously it can then protect your scales, which means Time Pendulum Graph is going to destroy and send. So that's your option there. Other than that, your other option is Bagooska and to sit on it. Really dependent on what you want. If you want more board presence, then you go Time Star, use Time Star's effect to search us out. Our Skullcrobat, you would then normal summon the Skullcrobat, and Skullcrobat can then add pretty much whatever you want. A Black Fang, it can add a Double Iris, or of course you can add your Oath Dragon Magician, because then you've got something there. Time Star there. If you add a Dark to hand, then obviously a Lure is more live as well. So again, it's entirely up to you on what you would like to add to your hand. Again, me personally, I would say if you're going to add any monster because of the Lure play, add Purple Poison, because again, it's more expendable and recyclable. Black Fang can bring back that Purple Poison should it be destroyed. Now, obviously, bear in mind as well, the scales are under Pendulum Call, so Time Star doesn't really need to use his effect. His effect will only be for the search and to the deck fin. Then, of course, you can activate your Allure of Darkness and draw whatever you know. It's not too bad there, because then we banish this. We can activate Dauntless Alliance if we want, search out the Star Pendulum Graph. There we go. Activate our Star Pendulum Graph, set our Time Pendulum Graph, and actually we have the ability to do quite a lot here during our opponent's turn. So let's say we go for our opponent's turn, whatever happens. Either we protect with Time Star regardless. If we activate Time Pendulum Graph, maybe using Time Star's effect really doesn't matter because they're under Pendulum Call. We destroy it and send one of our opponent's monsters. We can then chain Magician of Dark Illusion from our hand to special summon him to the field. And then kind of go from there. Your other option as well is you could activate Time Pendulum Graph without declaring to activate effect. Don't activate the effect of it yet unless you think your opponent's got Ghost Ogre. You can then chain your Magician of Dark Illusion to hit the board. You can then activate Time Pendulum Graph's effect. Now, I believe this is right. Yeah. You can activate Time Pendulum Graph's effect on a separate chain to do its shenanigans, and then Magician of Dark Illusion's second effect will go off to bring back your Dark Magician. So you've got them plays there, and should any of your Pendulum monsters leave, you're getting a search. Your monsters can't be targeted by trap cards, and they can't be targeted by spell cards. So your board's on a pretty nice little lockdown there. Okay, so that's just kind of some of the plays you've got. And then during your turn, you've got Black Fang's effect, which can then revive you Purple Poison. You can link up with your Time Star after Time Star does you a search. And the plays are kind of endless from there on. Okay, so now let's do our last test hand going first, and that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alrighty then. This is where P-Call kind of sucks a little bit. But what you would do is you can activate your Purple Poison scale, activate your Wisdom Eye. Wisdom Eye destroys itself to search us out another scale, and that will place us a Black Fang. What am I doing? Oath Dragon there, sorry guys. Oath Dragon can add Wisdom Eye back to hand, not that it's the end of the world. This one is a bit more of a slower hand, because then we can Pendulum Summon these guys out. overlay these into a Baguska, or of course, like I said, you can do a Time Star. Time Star can search out a Joker. Joker can then do his effect to search out even more, or you can just search out an Astrograph so you've got a bit of a hand track going. Me personally, at this moment in time, I would probably say go with Baguska, because Baguska is going to cause our opponent quite a lot of trouble. And then next turn, no matter what we draw, you've got a P-Call play, which you can pitch your Dark Magician for. Search out 2 more scales, which would of course be Harmonizing, and another Pendulum monster, probably Purple Poison. Pendulum summon them 2 out, Harmonizing gets you another one. You've now got 4 materials to turn into, well, you'd put Baguska to attack mode first so your Harmonizing doesn't get negated. You can then turn that into a Link 3. Obviously Black Fang is now protected, so we can't revive you to Dark Magician this turn, but you do have a Time Pendulum Graph ready to go for your next turn as well. So it's just a difference between Dark Magicians needing a bit more kind of stability and support, and Pendulum Magicians being able to offer that, as well as adding additional perks and effects to your Dark Magicians. Okay, so our next one up for our second hand, so 6 cards, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. So now we've got a nice, as you can see, a nice little mix there of everything that we can use. So if we activate, let's deck Fin first. So we'll normal summon our Rod because that is the most important. We will search out our Dark Magical Circle. We will activate our Dark Magical Circle, and we will then look at the top 3 cards of our deck, and that will then determine on whether we want to allure or not, straight like right now. So we'll look at the top 3, and it is Black Fang, it is Rod, and it is Circle. So we'll add Circle to hand off of Rod's effect. We can then put those back to the top of the deck, and you could allure, because it's a nice little easy allure. You would draw into those 2, plus in a Black Fang, get rid of your Magician's Rod, put your Oath Dragon in scale, activate your Duelist Alliance, and your Duelist Alliance will then grant you either the Start Pendulum Graph or the Time Pendulum Graph. In my personal opinion, are the best ones to go for. You could go into Pendulum Call, not an issue with that. At this moment in time, it's not the bad choice, because we've got no way of getting Dark Magician to board. If we do go into our Pendulum Call, again, you need to be cautious with whether you think your opponent's got an Ash or not. You can then activate Pendulum Call, destroying Dark Magician, or you can send the Circle, entirely up to you, because Circle is a little more dead now. Regardless, that then searches you out 2 more scales, and that will be our Harmonizing and our Purple. We then activate a scale, which I would say is Black Fang is the better option. Pendulum Summon Poison, Harmonizing. You can hold back on Iris if you want, or you put Iris to board, entirely up to you on how you want to do that. Harmonizing will then go off, bringing out, again, probably Purple Poison is your best one to choose. Now you have the option to link free and go into a Decode Talker. There we go. They will go to the extra deck. That will go into the Decode Talker. You can then overlay these guys into a Baguska. Your other option, if you want to rip one from your opponent's hand, is instead of going into Decode Talker, you could go into Omega with the Harmonizing, banish one from your opponent's hand, have the ability to recycle your Rod back to grave, not that that's the end of the world, and then you can sit on a Baguska with a Purple Poison in defense mode. Then on top of that, you can add Harmonizing back to hand with your Oath Dragon. So there's your kind of options there. It's either a Decode with a Baguska, or it's a Baguska with an Omega that's already left the field and done some damage to your opponent. So if we wanted to be more aggressive, you could probably go into a Tornado Dragon. You probably have left your monsters there as is. Sorry. Other than that, of course, you can go into Time Star instead of Baguska. That gets you a Search. Or, sorry, completely missed it and completely forgot. You go into Perform Ace Trapeze Magician, use Trapeze's effect, let Decode attack twice with 28. Decode swings in for 28 twice, doing 40, 56. And then Trapeze goes in for 2.5. I'm still in the defensive mind state of a Dark Magician needing a turn. But yeah, it can be, you know, you can turn that hand into a defensive hand or an aggressive hand. Okay, so let's do our second test hand, going second. And this one I promise will be more aggressive. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not too bad. If we activate Black Fang in the scale and then activate Wisdom Eye, Wisdom Eye can then destroy itself to place Oath Dragon. Oath Dragon can then use his effect to add Wisdom Eye back to hand if we wish to. Now you can allure and hope that you get what you want. So if we activate allure, we're going to do it anyway because of a test hand. It's entirely up to you if you choose to do that or not. Magician of Dark Illusion is probably your least necessary card at this moment in time, but it does give you a 2100 boost. So you could, of course, banish your purple poison. We haven't normal summoned yet, so we're going to normal summon our Joker, and Joker is then going to search us out. Believe it or not, she's going for our Harmonizing Magician. We can then Pendulum summon. Now we can literally just go board drop all 4, but then it does mean that Harmonizing won't get her effect off because the board will be full. The other option is, of course, you can hold one of these back, like your Wisdom Eye, or the best one to hold back, unless you want to go all out attack, is hold back your Magician of Dark Illusion because you can special summon him during your opponent's turn with Time Pendulum Graph. So, if we Pendulum summon all 4 of these, Harmonizer's effect goes off to give us another monster, and that can give us double Iris. Now obviously that's going to go into defense mode. Again, you have the exact same play capable to you. If we... where are we? We've got a banish, we've got an XYZ. So what we want to do is we want to link these 3 into decode. Let me just double check. Yeah, cool. So then you would overlay these guys. This is how you can extend a little bit further. You'd overlay these guys into that. Use Trapeze Magician's effect to detach Iris. Now make sure you detach Iris because that's the one with bigger attack. To target Decode Talker, you can then use Black Fang's effect to destroy itself. To then halve one of your opponent's attack, and that in turn will return you your double Iris. So if you put him there, it gives Decode an extra 500. So Decode can now attack for free twice. Perform Ages going in for 25, plus one of your opponent's monsters is halved, and you're going in with double Iris for 15. You then get to set your Time Pendulum Graph. You've got an Oath Dragon to pop as well, or you've got a double Iris to pop, and then that of course will get you a search, and then you can special summon out your Magician of Dark Illusion. But that technically should be game. At that point, anyway. So you can kind of see that the deck still has the capabilities of running the Pendulum engine in relatively unhindered early game, and then it has the ability to kind of back it up with the Dark Magician. So it's more of a Pendulum Magician with backup from Dark Magician, or Dark Magician with Pendulum Magician support. Anyway, our final test stand of 6 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I definitely don't need a circle to hand, I can tell you that. Okay, so we're going to activate our Dark Magical Circle. Our Dark Magical Circle will then reveal the top 3 cards. Black Fang, Star Pendulum Graph, and Magician of Dark Illusion. None of them are useful to us right now because we won't add any of those. So now we have the ability to normal summon our Rod. Now you could have normal summoned your Rod first to deck Fin. It is entirely up to you. The only issue we have now is it's kind of a stalemate, in the sense that if you get too many Dark Magician cards in hand, you can't really abuse it, especially if you don't get the scales. If we had the scales, then it would be a different story. Regardless, it's entirely up to you. You can put Black Fang in the extra monster zone if you want, and then we can set our navigation. And all we've really got is Rod's effect there. We kind of need something engraved to help extend the plays a little bit further, or like I said, have another scale, and that's probably where this circle could have been another scale. So I will redo this test hand, but basically during your opponent's turn, you've got navigation, gives you Dark Magician, gives you another Pendulum monster if you want it, or can give you another level 7, and then you get to banish one with circle. And then Black Fang a little bit later on can start reviving stuff from the graveyard. Anyway, we're going to redo that test stand, but you can show that it can still have its slow weaknesses. Obviously, again, if it was perfect, it will be toppling the metas. It's just a fun little trial out if you get bored of just pure Pendulum Magicians. Anyway, so our 6 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, if we go Black Fang, Wisdom Eye. Wisdom Eye's effect gets us Oath Dragon. Oath Dragon can add Wisdom Eye back to hand. Now it's a shame because obviously we can add the Dark Magician to hand, which is fine. So if we go Wisdom Eye Magician, actually we can actually flood the board with quite a few Dark Magicians here. We just need to get a spellcaster to board. So if we get Wisdom Eye to board, activate Illusion Magic to tribute off Wisdom Eye. That gives us 2 Dark Magicians to hand. We're then going to use Harmonizer's effect to, not Harmonize, sorry, Apprentice Illusion effect to pitch this Dark Magician to special summon it, and then she's going to search us out our 3rd and final Dark Magician. We're then going to Pendulum Summon. Now again, you can go all ham. You can hold 1 back for navigation, but I would personally hold 1 back for navigation. We're just going to go ham on this one. Pendulum Summon, 1 Dark Magician there, Dark Magician there, Purple Poison there, and then Wisdom Eye up there. You can then use Black Fang's effect to destroy itself, half one of your opponent's attack, and then revive this Dark Magician here, and you have got ham. So you can link summon if you want. You can just go all out. You've got a 15, you've got a 12, you've got a 25, 2k, 25, 2k, 25, sorry. So it's really dependent on where you'd want to go from there. You've got rank 7 plays. You've got the ability to boost one of your Dark Magicians to 45 if you need to, or of course you can boost these by an extra 2k and beat through your opponent. You've got rank 4 plays for days. You've got a couple of rank 7 plays for days. You've got a couple of link plays for days. The only thing you don't have is a synchro play, but why does it matter when you've just in 1 turn got 3 Dark Magicians to board? Yes, your navigation is kind of now null and void because you can't recycle stuff with this because we've already done it, but it is still incredibly powerful. Not every day can you say, I've just got 3 Dark Magicians to board in 1 turn, and that is why it is a fun little deck to play and trial out. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this has given you a couple of ideas of how the deck runs, how the deck plays, how it operates, and hopefully interested you in building the deck and giving it a go yourself. Like I did state in the deck profile, there is a Buster Blader version that I am working on, so I'll hopefully get that up for you guys soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, whole 9 yards. Until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. If you like that video, why not check out our other videos available? We've got more deck profiles, pack openings, and of course duels. And don't forget to click on the most important button of all, that subscribe button, right in the bottom left hand corner.